Greetings, folks. Welcome back to the Tractorfella channel, where chickens know everything about tractors. It's Christmas Day, and we have no power, and we're the only house in the area that doesn't have power. And our generator isn't cooperating. Although the chickens are. Right down yonder, you can see that nice little puddle of oil. Our oil pressure sensor switch, which enables a 5 psi, has decided to start leaking externally, and in doing so is causing it to work improperly, giving us false shutdowns for no oil pressure. I temporarily disconnected it, which bypasses it in essence, but I don't really run the system. Christmas traffic. But I don't really want to run the system without an oil pressure sensor, considering the fact it's leaking. Buried somewhere in the bowels of this tent. I need more hands. Oh, you guys remember this, right? Oh man, it was like my first somewhat official YouTube video. And boy, did I get some flack from a couple people for mutilating the valve train. I can't blame you. I get it. We all have our passions. Let me guess. This is going to be a low oil switch, not a pressure switch. Well, let's have a look. Nope, it doesn't. Shortest video ever. Well, we struck out there. Let's go find another machine, see if we can find an oil pressure switch. Well, I've been scrounging around. John Deere? No, I can't find one. Cadet? Maybe? But I gotta tear the whole top off, and that's a huge, huge pain in the butt. If the gas tank is in the way, I'm gonna be very upset. I am very upset. And I'm never getting that back in there. This isn't frustrating at all. Yes! Also, never getting that back on either. Took a look at this guy, this wheel horse monster. No, could not find one there. However, our ugly Betty here just might have something we can work with. I need 1/8-27 NPT. Hopefully that's what that is. Now this is only a single wire, so I'm not entirely sure how we're going to incorporate it, unless the other wire just goes to ground. Sounds weird, but it needs to be normally closed, so it opens when it sees pressure. That makes sense though, right? Because when you have low pressure, you want it to provide a ground so that it can turn on the little dummy engine light right there. So let's go ahead and test it out. Resistance. All right, we'll go ground to the wire. Right now it should be grounded. Oh, it is. Let's take it off. I brought all the correct tools for this job. Oh, nice. It's a split loop instead of just a regular loop. And we need a bigger guy. Don't break. Last thing I want to do is crack the housing. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I don't think this will dump all the oil because it's not running, but just in case. With my luck, we know it will most likely dump all the oil. And well, either it's all leaked out or my theory was correct. Okay, let's go look at the generator. In other news, this weather is so weird. What a beautiful Christmas day. I mean, you know, typically beautiful Christmas day involves a whole bunch of freshly fallen snow and sunny skies, but it's 52 degrees out right now. Back to it. Step 1, 2 8mm bolts. One there and one there. I love this kit. And we have liftoff. Yeah, that's leaking quite a bit. I'll show you in a sec. So I had wiped up all of this before restarting. This looks like it's leaking pretty darn good. When you only have a 2-quart system, you're kind of running a big risk not running an oil pressure shutoff when you have a leak that you know about, in my extraordinarily humble opinion. Originally I thought it was the filter, but the top of the filter is wet. And then I went like this, and there it is. So this is externally leaking, and it's not coming from the threads either. Forgot my screwdriver, too lazy to go get one, so we'll use what I have in my pocket. Boy, that is stuck. There we go. We're about there. Sure, this is the wrong kind of pipe tape, but we're going to use it anyway, because that's all we have. And yes, I know the switch works, because I've run that mower quite a few times in the past. And that little red light always goes out when the engine fires up. Fingers crossed, they're the same thread size. They don't look like it at all. This isn't going to end well. Yeah, not even close. Well, I did feel good about this whole thing. I wonder if this is an adapter. So you're not going to believe this, but I have a small assortment of fittings inside the garage that I received when my father-in-law passed away. And I found this in that assortment. And it looks to me like the same thread pitch and same pattern. What are the odds? Seriously, it's the only one I could have found. I'll show you the kit when I get back inside. Let's go ahead and get these together. Okay. Now it said in the manual to be very careful when you thread these in, because there is a taper and you could crack the housing. So we are going to be careful when we thread this in, because there's a taper and I don't want to crack the housing if it even goes in. Cross your fingers. Keep them crossed. All right, good. It looks pretty darn close. Okay. Here goes nothing. No way. It's it. No way. I'm being quiet because I don't want my neighbors to hear me recording, because they'll think I'm a weirdo. But I am absolutely thrilled right now. Absolutely thrilled. Now you're probably wondering how I'm going to make this work. Well, with this switch, with this setup, it wants to see a differential across the switch. So when the engine's running, open circuit; when the engine's off, closed circuit. Since we only have one post here, I'm essentially going to put this guy on here, and then we're going to run the other wire to ground, and that should simulate the same type of situation. Should. There's also a way we can test that, and we test that by firing it up, and then we shut the gas off. And when it runs out of gas, it will stop, and it will throw an oil fault, because it thinks it ran out of oil pressure and it should still be running because it didn't have a command to turn off. And that's how we'll test it. We're going to clean this post up because it's a bit on the crusty side. Grill brush engaged. Dang it, wires, you're very inconvenient. Yes, Chicky, I see you. Hope everybody out there is having a good Christmas. Chicky, I don't have anything for you. Look at these psychos. What are you doing? You're like right there. I don't have any snacks for you. You already had Christmas yum-yums. Yeah, I see you. You gonna chew on my shoe or what? Alright, that's on there pretty good. Now, we need to find a ground. We have a ground way over here. Can we loosen this loom and get some more wire? No, we cannot. Dang it, that would be perfect. Actually, that might be a switch or a sensor. That might not be, oh, you can't see it. That guy right there. Looks like it might be on a pickup, a speed pickup, so we're not going to want to use that. All right. So I stuck a piece of wire in here, and we're going to borrow this traffic. So I crammed a piece of wire in here. We're just going to borrow this valve cover bolt. Stick it right here for now. All right, folks, I'm going to top off the oil, clean up my mess. We're going to try it out. All right, this thing's PO'd because I haven't set the exercise time yet. I popped the fuse on accident earlier today. Whoops. And we are disconnected from the house right now. We're just gonna do manual, and it's gonna fire up on its own. Cross your fingers. Nope. I'm gonna have to think about this. Unless I just tie the wires together. Do I just tie the wires together? Let's see if the switch is working, because I probably jinxed it. Okay. Now it's open. Is it backward? I'm gonna be pissed. I think the wires were backward. One's a signal and one's a ground. I had the ground hooked up instead of the signal, if that makes sense. Let's shut the gas off and see what happens. It says it's supposed to fault for low oil pressure, which it did not. How do we feel? What the hell? Okay, give up. Thank you. Okay, give up. Give me a fault, please. Hear more relays clicking. Nope. Said it was supposed to give me an oil pressure fault when we shut it off with the gas. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull this frickin' thing out. We're gonna put the old one back in. We're gonna keep the wires just like this. If it fires up and then shuts down for low oil pressure, we know that this successfully works. If it fires up and keeps running, well, we know we have a different problem. All right, I'm gonna try again. I did verify this does go to ground when the engine was shut off. So we're gonna ground this out while it's running. It should read 0 pressure, which is a closed circuit, and it should shut the engine off. This is gonna be loud. Or it's not gonna do anything. We pop another fuse. Yes, why does it do that? New fuse. When it didn't start, it popped the fuse. I don't know why it would do that. Unless it's to protect the battery? Who knows? All right, let's see if it works. Fingers crossed. Look at that. Low oil pressure. Oh, heck yeah. We're in business. Now I can fire it up, get the oven warming up, and get our ham in there. It's getting late. Another thing we fixed is that we're not going to have an oil leak anymore. Because this one was leaking, I don't know if it was from the end or around the seal here. I think it was from the end. Maybe we can take it apart. Beautiful. After this is all warmed up and running for a while, I'm going to come back out and check for leaks. Should be good. Alright, I'm going to find a better ground. Just going to go right there to that little bolt No, I'm not. That's rusty. I'm soldering this because if this falls off, the engine will just keep running, with or without oil pressure. And when I get the correct switch for this, I'll just unsolder it at a later date. There we go. Good enough. There we go. Reset our low oil. Let's go straight to the battery. All done. Just kidding. Alright, I'll show you when I'm done. Decided to go there because that was a pain in the arse. And we have good continuity. I checked it. Let's fire it up and warm up the oven. Turn on power to the house. Auto. Should fire up all by itself. Come on. Well, that was dumb. Okay, so don't hit the exercise button when you're trying to generate electricity. Oh boy. Oh, it's amazing how many tools it takes to do one job, right? And that wasn't even really that big of a job. Well, it's a couple days later, and I'm doing some editing and forgot to show you the little kit. Edelman. You got some unions, elbows, all kinds of different fittings, compression fittings, ferrules, and I got through here, and I got to the very last drawer. The very last drawer. And I found it in there. Oh, there might even be a second one here. Nope, that's a plug. But, oh, yeah, there we go. Nope, that one's passed through. So I really did find the only one in this kit. Talk about some luck. But what do you think? Should we pry into it and see what's wrong with it? I'm curious. It's soaked in oil and it looks like it's all coming from around this ridge here. So why don't we start by popping that little rubber plug out. Okay. On. NC, normally closed. I wonder if this is supposed to act like a weep hole. No, it's definitely not. That is pretty much completely... No, it's kind of dry. This whole thing, though, is soaked. But that could be from this. I don't know. Now I'm just jabbering. Springfield, Illinois. Hobbs... Oh, Corp. Hobbs Corp. Has threads in there, it looks like. Maybe we can unthread that, if I can find something to fit it. Oh man, that was close. Not 5.5, maybe 5. Nope, it's standard. Nope. Maybe it's a no such size. NSS. Oh, there we go. And... oh, the click. The satisfying click. Wonder if this is a spring tension that calibrates how many PSI opens and closes the... no, it's not. Oh wait, yes it is. Ha-ha! You probably set the calibration by how deep that plug is sunk into there, how hard that spring is pressed on. The more that spring is compressed, I'm guessing the higher the pressure it requires to activate the switch. How cool. But yeah, if I had to guess, there should not be oil on this side of the system. There's probably a diaphragm in here that is leaking or torn. I'm curious if this comes off, if this was an adapter. Shall we find out? Doesn't feel like it. Oh man, not at all. Unless it's Loctite on there. That's also a possibility. Well, we want to tear it apart anyway, right? Mobile vise. Oh man, that's not moving. That is not moving at all. Yeah, there's no way. Woo! Tried to put some mustard on it. Let's go for it. That is quite robustly designed. See you in 20 minutes. Getting close. Basically just breaking the plastic away from the edge. There we go. Oh, cool. There it is. There's your diaphragm, which is actually a steel plate. Let's get our housing pieces out of here. So essentially, you got your spring pressure on top, resisting the movement of this metal plate. When the metal plate does move, which is supposed to be 5 psi, it pushes on little guy here and opens the contact. It is normally closed, momentary open. Now, I have a feeling this whole area is not supposed to be filled with oil. What I would like to do is get the plastic out of there so that we can try to see on the other side of that little metal contact plate. Most important tool in the garage. Welcome back, by the way. I have interrupted the current video in future time. It's actually still a couple days later. Come on out. Probably won't be able to get that plate out without flaring that open this way. Fires out into my face. Oh, little button comes off. All right. Okay. Oh, look, you can't tell on camera very well, but there is, see that? See the flow? This right here is rubber. It's all solid rubber. So that is what separates this area from the other side that the oil pressure pushes on. And it was most likely just old and worn out. There we go. Oh yeah. Trying to stab myself. Oh, there's a nice fender washer we can save for later. Here comes our rubber seal, if I can figure out how to get it out of there. Oh, there it is. All right. This is kind of fun. At least one of us is having fun. There you go. There's your rubber seal. Or maybe that's not considered the seal. Maybe this is considered the sealing surface. I do not know. But that is also a rubber seal. Hard to focus on all this oil and goo. Yeah, not in the best of shape. And I believe that's it, folks. From then on, we are going right down to the hole that allows the oil to come into the system. Right there. I should be able to put my pick in there. Yep. See? Well, there you go. And there you have it. That is how your oil pressure switch works. And all it takes on this one is 5 psi. See if I can make an exploded diagram here. There it is. Oil pressure switch exploded diagram. Well, mostly just exploded. I'm funny. I know. I am funny. All right, folks. Enough of my extreme humor. We'll get you back to the regular program. How do I stop this with all the oil? Titan and Hercules want to wish you a Merry Christmas. They got some bully sticks. Yeah, if you don't know what a bully stick is, look it up. It might surprise you, but they love them. All right, good boys. Good boys, yeah, good boys. All right, folks, I think we're going to call it there. This is the weirdest thing. Woke up this morning, had no power. Generator was off, which is abnormal because it has its automatic switch. And I called around the neighborhood and everybody else has power on except us. So I don't know if our transformer went out last night or what, but then you go find out you're getting oil pressure shutdowns and there's no way you should be getting oil pressure shutdowns. That's hard to say. Oil pressure shut. You get the point. Anyway, ham's going. Yes, the ham is going. The oven will be in the ham soon, and then we'll eat dinner. Hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas, and here's to a great 2024. Catch you later. High five.